my man Rafael Valdez. Rafael is one of the hottest in-demand tattoo artists on the planet right now. He's back and forth between Hollywood, New York City, Miami, making a permanent impression on many of Hollywood's biggest A-list names and bodies.
I think it all started after I tattooed Kylie Demi.
And if you're looking for an appointment, yeah, good luck with that. His own father and closest friends have been trying unsuccessfully for years.
He's not had time for me. I almost 5-6 years waiting in the line.
I'm in the same boat too. Either he's in LA or he's in Miami, he's in New York. He's all over the place.
Yeah, not bad for a kid who immigrated from Mexico at age 10, not speaking a word of English, and would spend weekends recycling scrap metal just to help his family make ends meet.
This was our first source of income here in the United States.
But this is not just another brag story about a celebrity tattoo artist. To really understand what makes the story of Rafael Valdez truly unique, all you need to do is listen.
Se acabó el amor y el sueño, el que le dio motivos a tu vida, el que transformó tu alma.
On a not-so-sunny LA afternoon, I caught up with my friend Rafael Valdez for what would be my 4th tattoo session with him at this point. And when he's not racing back and forth for clients between Miami and New York and Los Angeles, or making special house calls to hotspots in Malibu and Hollywood, this unmarked, nondescript spot in downtown Los Angeles is where you may be lucky enough to squeeze in a new piece of art with him.
Is it okay if I document?
Of course.
Even though he holds a smartphone more than a tattoo needle these days, Rafael is someone the biggest names in Hollywood, music, and pro sports all reach out to when they want new ink.
The next thing you know, it was all over like Spanish television. Mark Anthony gets a new tattoo and that. So he literally put me on the map, and then his word of mouth was what led me to tattooing literally every celebrity I tattoo nowadays.
And with a powerhouse client roster like that, it's a pretty safe bet Rafael spent years apprenticing under seasoned, top-notch tattoo artists, right?
Miami came up.
Wait, you watching the TV show to learn what they're doing?
Yeah, we're like, oh, so that's how you put the needle. I learned so much from that TV show, it's insane.
I didn't know anything. I'm telling you, I mess people up. Oh yeah. I remember like the first big tattoos that I did, they came off the very next day because I dug in too much.
They literally came off.
Yeah.
And what would you say? Oops.
Yeah.
I'm new at this.
You get what you pay for.
What was it like coming to LA from Mexico?
So I remember it being like really tough, the actual transition. And then when we finally were over here, you know, new schools, new friends, no English. It was all very strange. As I got older, stepping into junior high, I think that's where it got tougher because kids are not so innocent anymore at that age. You know, we lived in Hispanic communities. So literally everybody in the school was Hispanic. So our own people were making fun of, you know, us. So I got made fun a lot. I got bullied a lot for being an immigrant. I felt more ashamed. I guess I believed what they were saying. I was a kid. I didn't know how to process it, I guess.
I loved his story. I wanted to know more. So I spent the next 2 days going to all the places that has shaped Rafael Valdez, where he worked when moving to the US, where he grew up, and where you'll find him today. But first, lunch with Rafael's father, Rafael Valdez II, so he could take us back to where it all started.
1971, my dad worked with everybody in Mexico, every singer in Mexico.
And the big breakthrough with your dad, I guess the biggest breakthrough, right, was Vicente Fernandez?
Vicente Fernandez, yeah. Vicente Fernandez, Lola Beltrán, Cornelio Reina, Gerardo Reyes, Rosenda Bernal, Valentina Leiva, El Piporro, La India María, everybody.
What made you decide to move the family to the U.S.? That would have to be a hard decision.
Chasing his dreams. As a child, when he was brought out here by his parents, he always envisioned himself out here.
When you got here, that had to have been hard.
Very hard, very hard. I do everything work. I work on a pickup scrap metal. Everything we need to get money for it, for pay my rent. I do everything. Right here, it's very hard. My son Sergio and Rafael, he's come with me and he's coming to pick up the metal. He's filling up the truck and he empties the truck. Yeah, they working with me very, very hard too.
You remember those days?
Yeah.
What was that like? What was a typical Saturday or Sunday like with your dad driving around to pick up metal? Where would you pick it up? Like, what would you dig through? And
Mostly it was construction sites. We would look around for construction sites. My job, remember, was to get off and ask if they had any metal, any scrap metal to throw away that we could take.
Sometimes when they go to the car shops, you know, we go to the owner and I say, hey, you have scrap metal for throw away? And they say, yes, I have, but you know what? First, you need to clean everything right here and I give you everything. Perfect, good. And I clean first everything right there, bathroom, everything, and then give me my pendant scrap metal.
maybe a trade-off.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember it being fun and then not so fun sometimes.
When I was one day in my office, thank you, and one friend of mine, he's working the music, he's called me for my telephone and I say, hey, Rafael, I got something new for you. Okay, I listen to one CD, he bring me one CD, and I say, this guy sing very well. Who's this? Is you sound Rafa? Oh my God, that's your friend.
Yep, a guy who'd spent his whole life discovering some of Mexico's top music artists gets handed a CD of his own son. It was a good thing I had a small lunch because on the way to the scrapyard, I got to experience Raphael's driving.
Oh man, I came the wrong way again.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and his insatiable love for honking.
I love honking. And I start losing my patience for this. Make it dramatic.
Look at that's a second light, man. Come on.
3 green lights, man. Come on.
And yeah, there was also the fact that he was kicked out of the same high school twice.
I went to school here. I used to come here in the summer.
Yeah.
Get on that roof.
Yeah.
And then jump into that pool from up
From
there.
the roof?
Yeah. I only came here for a minute and then they kicked me out.
I wonder why. Was it possibly for like platform diving off the roof?
No. It was just being very destructive. I managed to get kicked out of the same high school twice. And then I got kicked out of this one. And then I finally graduated from my final school.
I guess on the positive side, if you got kicked out of the same school twice, it means you were resilient enough to get back in once.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Here we were, the old scrapyard Rafael and his dad would bring a long, hard day's haul, a place that exchanged sweat and aching muscles for cash to survive.
And yours looks good on top of your hat.
I want to wear it. When I was about 10, 11, 12 years old, I used to come here and bring all the metal that we would collect the previous day. So we'd be out on the streets all day long, collecting stoves, refrigerator, anything we could find. When we would find aluminum, that was like a big payday. It was tough. I mean, I didn't enjoy it because I was a kid. I didn't want to be here at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning dumping metal, but it was, it's good memories. It just lets me appreciate, where I am now, knowing that this is where it all began.
From scrap metal to hard-earned precious metal, going back to the scrapyard really sunk in with Rafael, now reflecting on how far he's really come.
As a kid, I didn't want to go work and help my dad making money for us to eat. Say we ran into a house that was under construction, my dad would make me get off and ask if there was any metal to throw away. And a lot of these times there would be like other kids my age there, and I would feel like embarrassed. I would have to, we'd go through dumpsters and go move all the trash.
You've come pretty far from where you started. Do you ever stop and put it in that perspective?
It's funny actually, so I live up in the hill, right? So I can see the whole city. And I can see as far as to where my first apartment was. I can't see the apartment, but I can see the area. Like, okay, that's where I used to live, in that area, right? Like I was telling my friend, I was like, that's crazy. I started over there, and look, and now I'm up here.
So you could sit outside and see how far you've come, quite literally.
Yeah.
Then we hit a swap meet where Rafael worked late night weekends as a kid.
We do all the scrap metal for several years, and then you saved up to do the swap meet and get a booth.
So I just remember being at the swap meet with my dad selling clothes, and he would make me, I would have to sit in the front, and just like how she did, he would make me invite people over. When we first came here, all those white lights were on, and there's a stage in the center of the whole thing, and there's people performing, and it was like, whoa, it was like a big step up at that time. We would sell shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah.
So I would have to say, cheap shorts, stop by, keep it in Spanish, all in Spanish.
How do you say it in Spanish?
Barato el short, pásale, barato el short. Look at this. My finger stuck.
Did you really?
Look at me now.
Wait, but you own an auto body shop, but you just got your finger jammed in a car part. That's supposed to happen to me, not to you. It's Justin Bieber. You know that, right?
I think they were making fun.
That's Justin Bieber. Don't tell anyone else.
Okay, I won.
Thank you. Man, I remember setting up those tables. Oh my goodness. It really is bringing up a bunch of memories. That's actually nice, huh? That could be like a decor thing. Look at that. Actually, nice.
Once it works. My daughter says, my 13-year-old, she makes her own clothes. Are you gonna get it? I might get it for my daughter.
You should.
Yeah?
Make it $40 today. How about that?
40?
$40.
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna get 40 for that and for
I told you that one.
Okay, that's very fair. Don't worry, I got it. It's all me. No worries, I'm good. You just hold my album cover.
Yeah, something else I learned about Rafael, he is a chronic prankster and practical joker.
Oh, who did we hit? Who did we hit? What? No, what? Did we fuck up your car?
No, man, that was a joke. I hit the side of the car.
This is fucking why you got kicked out of 3 high schools. This is why he got kicked out of 3 high schools. The same one twice. I'm more worried about your car. I'm like, who'd you hit? Who'd you hit your car? Oh my God.
Dang, dude, I never seen someone get so scared.
I thought you fucking killed someone. Yeah, and our next stop was very convenient. It was Rafaels Church, and hopefully some redemption for nearly giving me a heart attack with his fake car crash gag.
Pastor Mo
Pastor Mo,
Nice to meet you.
thank you for being here. This is one of those church that lets people with tattoos in, right? You stop that at the door. Like, I'm just making sure.
Well, you know what's cool about it? I mean, even the pastor's got tattoos.
Pastor's got tattoos.
So-
Didn't know that.
So,
You threw that one out.
yeah. So, I mean, no, definitely tattoos are welcome here. So these are my kids.
Yeah.
That's a cross right there, and then this is my arm before Jesus. this is my BC, so a bunch of like Aztec before no.
And how did you meet this guy here, man?
I met Rafi probably a few years back, and we just hit it off with them. We fell in love with their kids and him and his wife, and
It's always been really clear that God and spirituality is a big part of your life. You've always said that. You've been pretty vocal. Where do you think that comes from, and how does that play into your life and everything you do?
I feel like once God touches your life, no matter which way you go, or even if you stop going to church, or even if you try to like put God to the side, God always He doesn't let you go. Like He tugs at you.
one of the things I think I like about Rafa is that regardless of who he interacted with, his faith was a big part of his life. It was huge. He's gotten a tattoo on some of the world's most famous people, and everybody that he's introduced me to knew about his faith. You know what I'm saying? And so I think for me to see someone so gifted, so talented, and so well known and well liked, he was never ashamed of who he was and who God was in his life.
Being a pastor, you have a strong connection to the greatest storyteller of all time, right?
That's it.
Right? And that would be,
Because Jesus constantly spread his message through stories.
if Jesus were here today, or if Raph could go back in time and tattoo him, what type of tattoo would you think? what type of tattoo would Jesus want to? I don't think he'd say, put myself on me.
What type of tattoo would Jesus have? You know what? I don't know. Well, I think he would tattoo the nails that were going to go in his hands and the nails that were going to go in his feet for the love he had for humanity.
That's a really good answer.
So if that was it, it would have to be the nails and the thorn in reminder of the love that he had for humanity.
Remember when I sang the song at the first church?
I do remember that. He sang tremendously, yeah.
What song did you sing?
It's called Amigo, which is friend in English.
How's it go, man? Sings like a couple notes.
Tú eres mi hermano del alma, realmente el amigo, que en todo camino y jornada está siempre conmigo. I don't remember the words.
Yeah, he definitely rocked it that day.
Did you hear about Tommy? Remember Tommy?
Yeah, I heard.
Apparently he started using again. He relapsed. He overdosed in a hotel room.
That's right.
And I remember I was in the studio recording a song that I just released recently. Right. And I was like, yo, Tommy, like I haven't heard from him. I called him, no answer. And then I called his business partner that he was always in touch with because they were like working on a business. I grabbed my phone, I go to my messages and it's him. And he's like, yo, Tommy's dead. And I said, oh, my blood dropped.
I know you loved him.
Yeah, man.
You loved him dearly.
I did. I cared for him a lot.
How you do now?
I'm good now. I miss him.
It should make you want to spread that message loud because there's so many people struggling with addiction. Let's walk.
Like Tommy was a big tattoo guy, right? So we were in a group chat coordinating stuff for his funeral and stuff. I was like, yo guys, listen, I just had this idea. Like, I personally want to get something in remembrance of him. Yeah. So if anybody's open to wanting to get something in remembrance of Tommy, like, let's get together and do it. Yeah. And it got to Demi. So Demi came over and she got a little tea for him, right?
Wow.
And it was on everything. It was on E! News, TMZ. It was viral. It went viral. And Tommy's name and Demi's message about struggling. Right. You need to find someone, get help, tell someone. Yeah. And so then it hit me. God used his death, his message, because if one person through that TV show or through that link, through that report or whatever, just one single person out of the millions that saw this sees that message and gets help and now gets to live another day because of that, then his death just served that purpose.
Yeah, and it wasn't in vain.
It wasn't in vain. And it wasn't just one person. No, I mean, there was millions that saw that.
Millions that saw that. I love you. Yeah, we'll see you. So good to see you. Love you.
Pastor Mo.
Hey.
You're a good man.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Let me give you guys a
God bless you.
Tommy was one of my first friends that I got introduced to. So when I met Tommy used to work here. Because these clubs out here in Hollywood, like you gotta like know someone, you gotta be someone like to get let in. But luckily, Tommy working here, that was like my way in here, because this used to be the hot club back then.
On your own, you did it. You added a Tommy tattoo recently, so you did that yourself.
Yeah.
With the angel was there, but you added Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
And you think about memories and tattoos and stories, and a tattoo I got many years ago, right after Terry, who was my best friend, after he died. And I'd written a poem for his funeral, and the last line of the poem, and it's tattooed on my arm, and it says, "The angels like reggae, so I crank it up loud, sipping tequila on a stool in a cloud." And I have a big cloud on my arm. Yeah.
That's cool.
It made me feel better. It reminded me that he was up there having fun.
I believe that. I mean, I go based off what the Bible says, what the Word of God says. The Bible says that we will meet again in heaven. So I don't have a doubt in my mind that he's up there. Yeah. And it's just a matter of me getting there. We'll reconnect up there and continue our friendship. Yeah.
Now look, if you haven't noticed by now, Raphael's friends are family to him, which is why when he's not at home with his own family, he's with his other family, who he happens to own a collision center with in West Hollywood.
This is my collision center here in the city of West Hollywood, California. So welcome.
You guys do real stuff here. Did you crash all these yourself, or do you have help?
Yeah, no.
This is see, I drove with you now, so now this makes sense. I think this is like your personal garage.
We've had anywhere from Tyga, Kylie Jenner. We've had a bunch of athletes here.
Tyga brings his car here.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner, if she gets an fender bender maybe or something.
Yeah, we've had our cars in here.
So how did you get from tattooing to being an auto collision center?
The owner of this shop came to me many years ago and started getting tattoo work done. We built a friendship, a very good friendship. And then little by little, I started bringing business into the shop. Yeah. And then I ended up bringing too much, too much business. And so we turned it into a partnership. I mean, we're more than friends, we're family now. He's soon to be godfather of my newborn, him and his wife. I love his kids like my kids. He loves my kids like they were his. And he's my best friend. So this is Nick.
Drew.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you, man?
Good, how are you?
So he said you can take off your shirt and show the tattoos he's done. So show us anyway. What do you got?
My daughter's names.
Yeah.
Some diamonds.
Wow, you got a lot of really great work. So if you guys want to show us around, I mean, this place is really, really rad.
So this is where all the body work happens. This is where we take apart cars and fix cars.
What are you guys doing to that Range Rover?
We're replacing the frame in the front, which tucks into under the seat of the car.
I mean, that thing looks like a bomb went off inside. I hope nobody was hurt.
No one's hurt.
I've been here, for years now, and it still surprises me. It amazes me, the stuff these workers could do. The way they put things back together, and in the amount of time that they do it, it's all in art.
It's all in art, exactly.
And the precision. I mean, when you're putting the front end in on this, I'm guessing you can't be off by probably a millimeter.
No, of course not.
This is an awesome operation you guys put together. Really cool. It's fascinating, everything that comes from, your life from tattooing, everything it leads into, the relationship. And
this is probably the funnest part of my life when it comes to outside of family. This is where I have my fun. It's hanging out with these guys. It's fun. It's not work. It doesn't feel like work. Most of the time I end up asking myself why I come, but I show up the very next day.
From
scrap metal. That's a bit of a full circle.
This would have been probably a shop that we would have stopped by and asked. I would have been a kid asking him if he had scrap metal to throw away.
Yeah.
Tattooing has opened a lot of doors. It's opened a lot of opportunities, and it's led me to meet like, you know, a lot of amazing people. But like most important, besides like the cool celebrities that I've met, like I came across friends that I consider now family, him being number one. And you know, like I always tell him how grateful I am. Besides all the jokes and all the nonsense that we talk, like deep down inside we know what we mean to each other, and like he knows how much it means to me and how grateful I am for the opportunity, because, you know, at the end of the day, it was an opportunity that he gave me.
So after all of his successes that you've been hearing about and seeing, his true passion remains the music that runs through his veins, mariachi. So the best thing about having talented friends in a town like Los Angeles, barter. For me, I got to spend a few days sharing a cool story and a new piece of art. For Rafael, I agreed to direct and film his new music video.
I think Drew's the only director that I know that gets hair and makeup done.
Oh man, that's so rude. I gotta look pretty for you. She got hair and makeup for you, so I mean literally she's like, I got hair and makeup for Rafa. I'm like, for one person? Take advantage of that.
This is true.
I'm paying her for the
I'm not
day.
even sitting in the chair.
I'm doing my nails at lunch. Thank you. What's
You're
up,
welcome.
So pretty boring.
Rafael's gonna cue you guys in. We're gonna do 3 full passes. I just wanna make sure cameras are set. My guys all good?
3, 2, 1.
Se acabó el amor y el sueño, el que le dio motivos a tu vida, el que transformó tu alma de niña a mujer enamorada, el que te hizo llorar con desespero, pero te hizo feliz tan solo con verlo. Se acabó el amor, ay, qué lástima.
Yep, he's good at this too. Really good.
Nunca volverán a hacerte un daño. Yo, donde tú estés, te amo más.
All right, man. Good job. Really good. You happy?
Yeah, tap for the team.
You got it.
That was great.
Get it up for our man, Rafael.
Spending 2 full days with Rafael, I felt like I learned so much about him, his story, his life, his passions. But at the same time, I felt like I really had only just scratched the tip of the iceberg.